Welcome to Subramani. Please subscribe. Please hit the bell icon. I need to increase the number of subscribers. And thank you. I'm going to talk about James Clear. James Clear, of course, has written a book. Go and search on Google which book I'm talking about. It's a nice book which you must read. Okay, let me tell you. I think it's Atomic Habits, right? So go and read Atomic Habits. It's a nice book. He has tweeted recently saying there are 4 types of wealth. So I think that are more, but he talks about 4 types of wealth, and he says financial wealth, which is money, social wealth, which is status, time wealth, which is freedom, and physical wealth, which is health. Right? He talks about 4 types of wealth, and he says something very. This is okay. This many people have spoken about, and then he says, be wary of jobs that lure you into 1 and 2, which means you get money and you get status, but rob you of 3 and 4, which means it robs you of freedom and it robs you of health. I find this very interesting because it takes me back to, say, robber Ratnakar or dacoit Ratnakar. So dacoit Ratnakar is a man who's been looting people, killing people, and he's roaming around in the forest. So one day Lord Narada comes and asks him, what are you doing? Why are you trying to rob me? So he says, I need to feed my family. So they ask him, Narada asks him, you need to feed your family, but you know you will accumulate a lot of sins by doing all this. Just go and ask your family whether they will share that sins with you. And he says, of course they will, because they're getting the benefits, they have to share the pain also. He says, that's fine, go and ask them. So he goes and asks his children and his wife whether they will share. They say, no, it's your duty to feed us. That's what you're doing. You're not doing us a favor. So we will not share the sins with you. So he comes back and tells Narada, no, they will not share their sins with me. So what should I do? So he said, you start writing the Ramayana, and that's why Valmiki is born. And that's a history how Ramayana starts. Now, having said that, you find that today we are not lucky enough to find Naradas, right? So I keep saying there are only 6 lakh rupee jobs. There are no 6 crore rupee jobs. Of course, there is somebody who's earning 115 crores and somebody who's earning 53 crores. I see those salaries and I look at it and say, oh, well, I was doing CA, that used to be the turnover of the companies which I was doing audit. So I can't understand 115 crore salaries and 53 crore salaries and 82 crore salaries. But anyway, that apart. I keep saying that is your salary is only 6 lakhs, and beyond that, whatever you get, you have sugar and BP and stress, all that added. So you cannot say, I want only the money and I don't want the stress. And go and ask your family, will they take your blood pressure, will they take your sugar, and will they take your stress, will they take your arteries coating? They will not, they cannot, right? So at some stage you have to decide what is good for you and what is bad for you, and that's where I liked James Clear saying it will give you money and status, but it will rob you of your time. You will have no time with you, and you will have no health. To me, it also, when he talks about time wealth as a freedom, I have one more thing, that it robs you of independence. So if I were to take ads in my blog, suppose I took ad from a mutual fund, and then I spoke nicely about mutual funds and I spoke badly about ULIPs, which I am almost duty bound to do. What happens if in the group that CEO of the AMC shifts to the insurance company and then calls me and says, I don't want you to say anything bad about insurance company, so come and he will pay you money and you say good things about me also. So then I'll have to say that ULIPs are good, classic endowment is very good, and things like that, which may not be to my liking. And even in mutual funds, I may not be able to criticize mutual funds mistakes. I may not be able to point out their mistakes. In fact, I did one post in my blog saying, is your money safe in mutual funds? I know a few CEOs who are very upset with that title, but that's what happened. A friend of mine had his money stuck in a mutual fund, and for 4 days he could not move it, and they said, oh, your money is stuck, this, that. Nonsensical, absolutely nonsensical excuse. And I've been very nice and good to them that I'm not named them, right? They were so I don't want to name them. Does not really help, because when I blame one mutual fund, the other 41 think that they are great. Not true. There's the only one which got tested, and therefore I'm blaming them, so I don't want to name them. So you lose all that kind of independence also when you take money, right? So you lose that independence also. So one more freedom which I would talk about is the freedom of expression. So one wealth of freedom of expression. I can say exactly what I want about personal finance, about mutual funds, about insurance, etc. Simply because nobody pays me for any of these posts, right? Except that when you click on some Google ads, I get paid some money. Honestly, I do charity which is at least 10x that amount. So it does not, financially the blogs make no sense, the vlogs make no sense, but it's fun, good fun doing it. So I'm happy doing it. I'm not cribbing about doing it. So first of all, I agree that there is more to wealth than just money. There is financial wealth, which is what all my videos are about. Then there is social wealth. You have to have a standing in society where people respect you, right? So somebody comes up to me and says, "Oh, I've been watching your mutual fund videos and all, and I realized that during market violence, I should not be getting perturbed. I should just sit tight and I'll make money. It has helped me in the last 5 years. I've listened to your videos, etc." Then you should have time wealth, that you can do whatever you want, right? I want to go on a vacation, I can go. I want to go to Kumbh, I can go. I'm not going, but I'm just saying, right? So any of those things I can do. So time wealth, which of course if I commit to saying on this Friday I'm going to do a lecture, I will have to go there and do that lecture, but I have a choice of whether to do these lectures at all, right? I have what to talk at that lecture, whom to address, how much time to spend on that, right? All that is your financial freedom your time freedom. You can do whatever you want with that. So social wealth is having a social standing where people say nice things about you. It's very important. It's easy to say I don't care what people think, because somewhere it is troubling you. That's why you think about what other people think. Maybe people don't care a damn about you. That's fine. But people should not be saying bad things about me. I'm very clear that I will not let my check bounce even after my death, right? So I don't want those things to happen. Then of course I have to have social wealth, I have to have physical wealth, I have to have time wealth, I have to have health wealth, right? If I'm not healthy, what is the point in having all these things and not being able to use it, right? Exactly like what you would go and tell God that you've given me everything but you've taken me away, right? So what can I do with all this wealth? Then you have to have some kind of spiritual wealth, some kind of eternal wealth which is there, and which you are going to use and which you are going to draw upon, which you are going to what would I say, be happy having, right? So you have to have social wealth. You have to have, only when you have all this will you be able to enjoy life. There's no point in saying I have a lot of financial wealth but I don't have physical wealth. I have physical wealth and the financial wealth but my social wealth is zero. People think of me as a fraud, people think of me as a failure, people think it is important. It is easy to say I don't care what people think, but then if you are not respected, I think you're going to ask yourself this question: what would I do if I did not? What will I be willing to pay just to get that reputation back, right? So the kind of money that people spend to get their reputation back if they have lost it is not funny, right? So all these things, just imagine not having one of them. You realize how much you are willing to pay for it. So there are people who are willing to pay, hold your breath, 50 crores, yes I repeat, 50 crores to get a PhD from a good university. So they go to the institute and say, look, I'm willing to pay so much money, will you give me a doctorate? I want a doctorate from your university. So people are willing to spend all that money. That's very clearly lack of social wealth, lack of acceptance. People, I mean, he's got money, he does not have, maybe he has education, does not have education, but that some degree like this, they're willing to pay money to get it. There are people who pay 1 crore to get some Udyog Ratna and things like that. All these awards have a price, and people do get it, right? Why are people buying it? Because somewhere in that Maslow's need hierarchy, you realize Maslow's need hierarchy, the things at the bottom can be bought with money, but after having got all that, people try to buy the top self-actualization with money. But I believe that I cannot buy self-actualization with money. If I went to the Everest, landed on a helicopter right at Mount Everest and stood with a flag, is it something which I'm going to flaunt about? The answer is no, because I myself don't respect that achievement, right? So if I am given a free doctorate, will I call myself Dr. P.V. Subramanian? Many people have told me that they'll give me some titles, and to me those titles titles are of no use. One title that I have is I'm a chartered accountant, or rather I've passed the final CA exam. That's the only title that I really have, and I'm very happy with that. I don't need to have more titles to make myself feel happy. So social wealth is something which people do think about. So think about all these things and make sure that when you have all of this, only when you have all of this can you be happy. So the types of wealth which James Clear is saying, if you are having a job which gives you a lot of social status and a lot of money, but is depriving you of other things, depriving you of freedom, you're not able to speak your mind, you're not able to say things, you're not able to find time for your family, for your social life, etc., and you're 50 years of age, just think whether it is worth getting money and status at the cost of other things. Thank you.